Welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. It wouldn't be Crawford County Outdoors if we didn't have a do-it-yourself project from time to time. I'm Duane Kohler, joined by Kayla Waltman. Kayla, there's been some, now we'll get to the do-it-yourself in a minute here, but there's been some big news with you lately. What's going on here?
Well, I just graduated from college from Allegheny.
Yay.
And I'm heading off to graduate school pretty soon here to get my Master of Health Administration.
Well, you can't get off to graduate school until we do a do-it-yourself project, right?
Exactly.
So,
I need one to get me rolling right into it.
okay, and make sure you wear your safety glasses when you're doing your do-it-yourself project, because sparks are going to be flying here. So what are you going to be working on, and what college are you going to for grad school?
I'm going to Virginia Commonwealth University down in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm hoping to get into hospital administration.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Well, I worked in that area for a while, and that's a very good thing, and so good for you. We're proud of you. And so we had to hurry up and make sure we got this scheduled before you take off for Richmond for grad school. So,
yes.
And maybe from time to time you might be able to come back and help us with some things here on Crawford County Outdoors.
That would be great.
Okay, we would love that too. Okay, the project for today, a porch swing. Now, had a porch swing at the house here that we were going to host a party for someone's college graduation party.
Yes.
And it fell apart over the winter. It got too much exposed to whatever and fell apart. So needed to make a new porch swing, or we couldn't have the party with a ratty falling apart porch swing. So
right.
We were considering two possible. Here, you hold that one. We were considering two possible options. One was like an Adirondack chair type, and found a separate one that was made with straight deck boards. So we debated back and forth, and we settled not on the Adirondack chair one because it actually weighs a whole lot more, and it was a little bit more cumbersome. The deck board one seemed to be a little more straightforward and seems to be a very strong design, and it's, like I said before, it's made just out of deck boards. So two things about this. One, the simple, and I think folks would kind of like that depending on where you are, has a curved seat which is more comfortable than just a straight flat seat like that one had. The Adirondack chair has a curved back and a sculpted seat, and that one just had a flat back and a flat seat, so that didn't seem like it would be as comfortable to me. And it really wasn't possible to make a sculpted back, that kind of curved against your back. So if we're going to make a straight back anyways, why not go with one that was more straightforward? And this one had kind of a more comfortable seat. So that was one thing. And the second thing, this one was made just straight from deck boards. And I'm kind of a fan of recycling. I live in Westmead Township, have my whole life, and Westmead, the home of recycling in Crawford County. So recycled deck boards are a pretty cool thing. One, when you go to stain them or paint them after, they're not full of all the chemicals and so on that they kind of dry out after a while, so it'll take the paint and stain right away. Secondly, so if you have leftover deck boards, call Duane, because I've always got use for them. We made tree stands, we made this table, we made all kinds of stuff for the wild games with leftover deck board, and used up all the big pile that I had outside. So I had to go, thankfully my cousin Steve and Phyllis had an old deck changed into a back porch, and they were willing to let me use deck boards for the project today. So thank you, Steve and Phyllis, for use of that. So we're going to make this swing with recycled wood deck boards. Okay, so the first step is going to be to cut some planks for the back and for the seat, and then we'll cut out each of these pieces. We'll put them together, and there we go. Okay, so it's 48 inches long, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that would be 3 4-foot pieces for the base and 2 4-foot pieces for the back, and then a couple of extra ones. So, okay, so here's one piece of leftover deck wood. I'm going to make the first cut. Let me grab and mark, and I'm going to need your help here holding. So
okay. I
noticed we got a couple of little nail holes and things at the end. I'm not overly concerned about that because it's recycled wood, and when you buy recycled, when you buy the plastic deck wood, it has a fake grain on. That's what this looks like once it's painted and so on. So a nail hole and some little flaws and things are okay. So 48 inches. I'm going to cut 2 pieces out of this, and then we'll use the leftover pieces for the arms and for the supports. So if you wouldn't mind holding here. When I go to cut, if you'd hold that in, Phyllis, so
okay.
I'll make the first cut. Let me go a little bit further your way. Yeah, right there. All right, there's the first base piece. I'm going to grab that one out of the way. Piece number 2. Let me get it lined up here. There we go. All right, now back to the design here for a second. The base piece, and I think you can see this from the camera, is narrow at the back and wide at the front, so that gives you that more comfortable seat. And it's 20 inches wide, and there's a 20-degree angle. So the angle where the base meets the back at 20 degrees gives you a nice, so you're not forced into an upright position. This is a porch swing, so you want to be kind of relaxed with that. So we need a 20-degree angle across both ends, and then we can make we can make two pieces. These are sandwiched together, and the armrest comes, or the backrest comes up out of the center of that. So, so we'll have a 20-degree angle here, and then go from skinny to wide, and then the wide will be the skinny at the other end. So
Okay.
let me set the saw for 20 degrees. 15. All right, it's stuck. All right, so, and that was 20. So each of these boxes is 4 inches, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 22, I'm sorry. Good thing I looked at that again, 22 inches. Okay. And we got exactly 22 inches left over,
right.
so that works out well. All right, so we'll make our each end. Cut. This saw is getting a little old. I'm going to have to be thinking about getting a new saw one of these days. Getting a little bit beat up. You and I worked on Make a Difference Day last year, and there were a lot of people helping, and tools just get kind of beat up. Okay, so there's our two 20-degree cuts. So let me flip it over. So we want from a narrow, so this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's a little bit narrower here, but so my plan is to go with this 2-inch here and 2 inches here. And so we got that back angle that's going to match up with the back, where the skinny part is at the back of the seat and the wider part at the front of the seat to kind of give you that more comfortable thing underneath your thighs there. So tape measure. So there's 2 inches on this end and 2 inches in from that end. So that'll be our skinny part. And then it looks like we're going in about thirds here. So we've got about a third, that's the wider part, and about a third, that's the narrower part. So looks like about 8 inches and 8 inches, and then we can make that sculpting piece in the middle, and then kind of round it off after. And
Okay.
if I do with my roller, let me make a second mark down here. Continue my 2-inch mark, and we'll continue our 2-inch mark on that side. And let me find a ruler. Or something with a straight edge. I'll use this level. So Kayla, are you excited about the changes coming up and the move to Richmond and all that?
I am. It's a big deal. It's big changes. So
if you were comparing
excited.
Meadville and Richmond, what would you say?
Well, I'd say that Meadville's less of a city type scene than Richmond. Richmond definitely has more of an urban feel to it. So it'll be a big change for the time being.
Okay.
It'll be nice to live somewhere different for a while and see how it is, how it compares.
So if we make this, let's say 7.5. I'm being creative now. Is that a bad thing?
Never.
Okay.
It's good to give it your own sort of unique aspects.
I didn't draw that line long enough. I can change that. I can fix that. Okay. So again, we can round this off after, but we use the jigsaw to kind of make that curve. So narrow, wide, narrow, wide. Okay.
Perfect.
So if you can help me, I'm going to have you hold like that,
Okay.
and I'll cut this way with the jigsaw, and then we'll get halfway, then I'll come and cut from the other end. Okay.
Okay. Jigsaw's right there.
Jigsaw's right there. In our project a year ago, we used the jigsaw a whole lot when we made the
Yes.
shooting bench for the wild games. I've actually still gotten people calling me about that and sending
wow.
me messages on Facebook. So people do watch what we're doing here,
Yeah.
Kayla. So that's good. the nature of the question was, where'd you find those plans? And so I just searched free swing seat, and in that case it was free plans for a shooting bench. I guess I must have missed the last little bit. Let me hit that again. On the get it that time?
There we go.
All right. On the internet, and there are plans readily available for those kind of things. So, all right. So these are going to be parallel like that. The lower part, the back of the swing seat, the back will come off here, and then a little bit of one piece of the front will be like to kind of go behind your knee as you're around the front of the swing there.
Okay.
Okay. So that back piece. Let me find the dimensions here. So we need to make the back piece, the arm rest holder, and then the front piece. There's also one in the middle that doesn't have an arm rest on, but that since we're 4 feet, that'll make a two foot section. So this can be a 2-man swing. Let me find those dimensions here on the. Uh-oh, I don't have my cheater glasses on. Okay, so can you read those?
We're reading for the armrest.
The back support.
The back support. It is 3/4 by 3.5 by 22.25 inch.
22.25 inch, and you said it was 3.5, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now this one's got a big flaw in it, so maybe what we'll do is I'll take this down to the basement and use the saw and just trim off that part where that crack is right there.
Okay.
22.5, and we need. Let's see, we need the angle, so the back and the seat, instead of being 90 degrees, so that they're like that, so we're going to match up that angle and that angle together. So 22.5, was that the right length?
Yes. Or no, 3.5 by, back support, 3.5 by 22.25.
22.25. 22.25. Okay, so I'm going to cut that same angle, because we'll need that angle at the bottom of the backrest and at the top, so it'll have a nice kind of comparable shape here.
Okay.
All right, so if you can support again, just bring it towards me. And, whoops, I'm measuring it wrong. I need that 22.5 to be all the way over there. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, good.
Oh, looks like where you cut it.
Yeah,
This
and that,
part of it
there
where it
was a
splintered
flaw
fell
there, and
off.
I saw that. So we're gonna take the 3.5 inches out of this side,
Wonderful.
and then let me trim this side. No, that's not right. I need that to be like that to match up. Okay. So and we're just gonna have the saw blade match up right there. You always want to be careful before you start where your fingers are. So I'm going to hold from this side. You do like to know where your fingers are before and after, not be looking for them on the floor after you're done cutting.
I hate to
so
have
we
to
need
count.
2 backrests, so we'll make the second one since we're right here in this department already.
Okay.
Tape measure, 22.25. Okay. All right. There's 2 other support pieces that we're going to need. Again, our centerpiece. I'll trim this off to make it straight, but our centerpiece. Let's just use it this way, just for demonstration purpose. So we'll match up that angle with that angle. And we're going to bolt these together like we did some other things that'll hold it nice and tight. So we'll have 2 base pieces and the 1 back rest, and then 2 arm rests and 1 vertical support here. So
Okay.
I need your help reading those dimensions again.
Yes.
They're written really small.
So which one are we doing now?
Okay, so the arm rest support.
The arm supports are 3.5 by 22.5.
3.5 by 22.5. Okay, so we'll just cut the board in half, and that one's straight. Okay, so we'll need 22.5. Here we have a straight end here. All right, is that one gonna chip? Feels like there's a. So when we're working with recycled wood, we've got a nice big chip here in this one. I think I'm just going to cut off this. It looks like that's going to chip off anyway. So That's part of the recycled wood. Part of the beauty of the recycled wood is you got little flaws and things. So I'll turn that off, and we still have the 22.5, and then we'll cut it in half, and that'll be both of our support pieces.
Okay.
And I got to straighten the saw back to 90 degrees here for that. Would you mind hanging on to that for a second while I straighten it? The saw, like I said, the saw is getting old, and it sticks. All right. I'm going to unplug it so we don't have any chance of it sawing when I'm really twisting hard here.
There we go.
There, it locked. Okay. All right, so looks like about right there will do it. Plug it back in. We might need a couple scraps. You always have use for that. And it was 20. What was the dimension again, Kayla?
3.5 by 22.5.
22.5. Okay. That doesn't sound right. We already made that piece. Okay, so what we want is, there was one that's this piece. So can you tell what that one's called? Does it give you a label for that one? That looks like more like 10 or 12 inches. So that's the piece that's 22.5, I bet you. So we'll need some straight ones. So we got to make two things.
Arm posts.
Arm post. There we go.
3.5 by 10 inches.
10. Okay. So 22.5 for that piece and 10 for that one.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. So we still need the 22.5, and then we need the 10. So let's go on both at the same time here. 22.5. And then if I add 10 to 22.5.
32.5.
Yay. I knew there was going to be math.
College education.
Yeah. See that? See that? Tell your mother that college, all that time in college, it did well. Okay. Here's our 10. Let me slide it towards you just a hair. Whoops, too much. There we go. All right. So Kayla, I know you've got to finish up your internship project at Allegheny, so we thank you for your help today and for all your help on the projects in the past.
Oh, of course.
So, and we don't want to mess you up with your internship. So go ahead, we'll finish up, and you go get that all taken care of.
That sounds good. Thank you for having me.
We'll see you for the Wild Games.
All right, we'll see you.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick run to the table saw and make those cuts, and we'll finish assembling. All right, finished up with the table saw in the basement and cut all the boards in half lengthwise. So we got all of our pieces together now. So here's our back piece that's going to match up with our base piece. And then this is going to be like a sandwich with one piece on the outside of the base and one piece on the inside. Here's our upright arm support. That'll go in there. And then we have our supports that'll support the armrest. And I see I need to make one little modification to that. And that is there. Okay. So one interesting part about this project is there's a lot of tension on this joint right here and right here. Tension to keep the swing back from going too far forward or too far back. So what I'm going to do is put a screw through all the way, and then we're going to use these carriage bolts. And we've used these on other projects, but that puts tension on from both sides, from the front and from the back. And that'll really kind of dig in there and grab tightly. And then since this is a swing, we need a place to hook up the chain. So at the back, let me think for a second here. Yeah, at the back, I'm sorry. At the front on the bottom, the swing chain will grab, and at the armrest on the back, the swing chain will grab. So we're going to hook up in two pieces. So let me get the drill ready. And I got to do a little bit of measuring here. I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So our first piece, let me make my modification here first before we do that. Then I want to make sure I have that 20-degree angle. Do I have the saw still set for that? On the back, so that can match up at the back So it'll be straight at the top and with a 20-degree angle at the back. So I'm gonna nip that corner off of the two armrests. And I need that angle to be this way. Okay. Okay, we've got the angle now on the back of our armrest supports. Okay, so I don't want to mess up the table here by drilling into it. We need this table for the wild games. So I'm going to use a couple screws to hold it together while I make those drill holes. So I'll assemble this the way it's going to look. Not too complicated here, but I'm making this harder than it is. Let me get these pieces out of the way. But I'm going to keep that one there just to help hold for a minute. Get my straight edge out of the way. Okay, so I need a bottom piece to rest the back on. And there's our upright. And I want this angle to be the 20 degrees meeting the 20 degrees right on the button here. So we have that nice reclining comfort. And there's our 20 degrees up there meeting the back. All right, that's a little too high because I want this to meet the bottom. So let me slide that down just a hair. Okay, and then our top piece will go on. All right, so on the dimensions. All right, it looks like that matches up right there. So it's about 2 inches back from the end is where our front of the armrest meets up. So 2 inches back. And I'm going to modify that a little bit because I'm going to make it 3 inches back because that looks like, let's make it 3 inches from the top. Make sure our bottoms are lined up and our tops are lined up because our deck boards will be going on here and on here. So we want those to be nice and straight. My edge isn't perfectly even, but I can touch that with a sander after if the deck boards don't meet up perfectly. Make sure that's straight and that's straight. And now in this sandwiching part of this project, we have a armrest support on the front and on the back. So there's our front and back, and then the armrest will go on the top. And that looks pretty good. All right, grab some screws. Okay. Same thing on the back. Did we catch the bottom? Good. All right, get the top lined up again just right. So this is where the armrest will attach. So I want that to be nice and even on both front and back. Match up to the back of the swing back rest here. Okay, that looks good. So right down the center is where I'm going to attach the bolt. So I'll make my screw just off center from that a little bit. And these are just kind of temporary holding. Okay. There we go. All right, let's see if it's going to hold here. Okay. All right, so the next step will be to attach the bolts, and so we're going to have an eye bolt like this that's going to extend on the outside for the chain to hang on to for our porch swing, and then just a regular carriage bolt on the other two corners, so a total of 4. Each of the 4 corners I'm going to drill a hole. So we need a 5/16 inch hole. I've got the right bit here. So I'm going to let this hang over the edge a little bit so that it doesn't poke into my nice work table. Okay, so the back of the armrest piece is going to be our eye bolt to hold the chain for the swing. And we'll probably want it oriented that way to hold the chain vertically so it holds it from the top. Let me just, you can tighten it after. Let me just put it together temporarily here. So one thing about the carriage bolt is you have a nice, kind of nice smooth round head. So on the parts that are going to show from the outside, we'll put the carriage bolt that you'll see the nice round head. So, all right, one of those at each corner now. Again, trying to be careful so I'm not drilling into my work table. Even though this deck wood had been used for many years as a deck, it's still got a lot of strength, and so you have to kind of back the drill up every once in a while to let the sawdust let its way out. Sometimes you have to get a hammer to tap those through, but that did go through. So, okay, a washer on the back and a nut. Okay, top, back, and the front bottom for our eyelet here for the chain to grab onto. So my center point's about right there. Drill's really doing some work. It really heats up. Second eyelet to hold the swing chain just there. And the washer and the nut on the back. That will ultimately be the inside of the swing. So we don't want those to extend in too far because that would be where the person sitting on the swing is going to be sitting. We don't want to scratch them with that. All right, one more hole to drill here. Messing up my plan paper. Okay, I'm going to drill right next to that screw that I put in for the final carriage bolt here. Carriage bolt and washer, a nut. Get the hammer, that one's a little tight. Tap that through. Okay, so the final step will be to lock those into place. I'll grab a wrench for that. And so these 5/16 bolt, just under 1/2 inch, but the socket set will have I think it's the 1/2 inch size socket set that I need to tighten these down. I think it's the 1/2 inch that I need. Let's test here. Yep, okay. Make sure that I'm going the right way to tighten. So you don't want to draw it too tight and crack that all the way into the wood. We want to make it so that it's nice and snug. And this is the essential part of the whole project here. So once we have this piece, we're going to be ready for the next steps. Feel that tightening. Okay. If need be, I can take a hacksaw and trim that extra off. We'll see if it's going to be in the way of the person sitting on the swing or not. Okay, so there's the key piece of the project. So we want those to be nice and flat and parallel for our armrest piece, which will be like that. It'll be a straight angle there, but it'll be like that for the armrest. Seat pieces will line up here and down here, and then the backrest will be here. Okay, so my next step will be to make 2 more of these, one without an armrest for the center and one with the armrest with these brackets on the other side, a mirror image of this one, and then to attach the deck boards. But in the meantime, we're going to arrange for Chef Lisa to come and come up with a nice outdoor cooking project, and maybe we can have the final swing while I can watch her cook while she's finishing up. I can be doing those last little touches on the swing and swinging while she's getting that ready. So, okay, so stay tuned for that. All right, so we've got the swing all put together. Thank you, Kayla, for your help with that, and I'm sorry she had to take off. We don't want to mess up her schedule with interning. Okay, so the last step is attaching the swing to the chains, and there's usually one that's a little bit shorter. That one goes in the back, one a little longer that goes in the front. I already measured these, so this hopefully is going to fit right. Now the old chains had S-hooks. You can also get a loop hook that has a little threaded thing. I took my bolt cutters and cut off the hook because I couldn't get them unbend without breaking them. So very simple, just attach to those eye hooks that we put on there, and I may come back and get some new S-hooks later or try those eye hooks. We'll see how that works out. And you definitely need to get the front and the back attached. So there we go. Okay, recycled wood swing. I like the idea of the recycled wood for a lot of reasons. One, it kind of already has some character. When you buy deck boards, those plastic ones, they've got a little fake pattern in them. This already has the real pattern, so we'll run the sander over this, but I think that makes for a pretty good swing. Okay, now Chef Lisa is here. Lisa, what are you working on there with the grill?
Well, we're doing an outdoor recipe for summer. It's summertime, right? So we're going to do some steak foil packs.
Okay.
And steak sandwiches, actually. They'll become steak sandwiches. And I'm ready to begin if you're ready.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The grill's already warming.
We've got our grill heating up. This is simple, as I always start off and say that. It's simple. I like simple. It's summertime. You can do this on the grill. You could do it at camp. Very easy, as you can see, to pack up all your ingredients and have them ready to go. So basically what you do, you can use a skirt steak. You can use, I'm using beef round, thinly sliced beef.
Okay.
You can use deer. You can use chicken, whatever your preference is, and I'm always about that, whatever you like. So I have a little over a half a pound, but you could do about a pound. This would feed about 4 people. Okay. And so we're just going to put it in a bowl. And what I did is I took the sandwich beef and I sliced it even smaller. It was thin to begin with, so I sliced it even smaller. So we're going to put that in a bowl, and then we're going to add a sliced up pepper, sweet pepper. Okay. And I have a sliced up onion. I don't really know that I need all of this, but I need close to it. Put that in the bowl. This is my addition. I've made this before, and when I had this for dinner and I fed it to my family and they loved it, I said to my husband, I think sweet, mild banana peppers would be really good in this recipe, so we're going to do that today. So this is about 3/4 of a cup of sweet banana peppers, so we're putting those in there, and they're the mild ones, but you could do the hot ones. I guess it's, you know, whatever your preference is. So you put that all in your bowl, okay? And I have about a clove and a half of chopped garlic.
Okay.
Give it some flavor. And about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Teaspoon of salt, coarse salt, and about a half a teaspoon, quarter of a teaspoon of pepper, whatever you like. Okay, and then we're going to take our olive oil and we're just going to drizzle it in there and get it covered.
That's a pretty cool little dispenser top you have for your olive oil there, Lisa.
Thank you. And next, really all you do is just mix this up.
Okay.
And you just want to mix it really good so everything gets flavored with the seasoning. Okay. Mix that real well. Now you could put more meat in this. Like I said, I didn't put a lot, but I'm one of those people, I'd rather have more vegetables than meat.
Okay.
Okay. But I mean, you can do it however you're liking. And as I said earlier, this is beef, but you can do whatever meat you prefer. And I love those kinds of recipes that are versatile like that because, you know, you can make it.
So you've got your strips that are maybe half an inch wide and maybe quarter-inch thick, something like that?
Yeah, and I even pounded them.
Okay.
And you can do that just because this is a steak sandwich and you want it to be more tender.
That looks give or take about the size that I cut the venison pieces for jerky.
I was thinking that when I was cutting it. It's funny you say that. Okay, so we're mixed really well, and I'm going to get this out of the way because now we're going to make our foil packets, and this is pretty simple. So you take your foil. Let me move it up this way. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to build your packet.
So you make sure you're picking out some of each of the ingredients in the pouch. Okay.
Right. Okay, and like I said, this is going to feed about 4. All right, we'll put another piece of meat in there. And then basically what you do is you fold it over. And I like to fold it twice on the end. And there you go, there's one.
Wow, okay.
Get this knife out of the way.
Crash he's very interested in what's going on here.
He is.
This isn't for you, Crash.
Now, if we were at my house, I think my dog's nose would
Lulu would be,
she would be in the middle of it.
interested too? Okay.
She would definitely be trying to eat this. I really think this is a great camping idea because, like I said, you can take everything, have it pre-cut, ready to go. You could even have your foil packets made in advance.
Yeah. Okay.
And then everything's marinating. There's our second. Also, there are 2 different ways you can eat this. You can eat this you can just open this up and eat it.
Okay.
And melt your cheese right on top, which we're going to do it a little differently. Or you can put it on a bun, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it on a bun. So do a little bit.
So this is kind of like a grill version of a Philly cheesesteak, sort of a.
Yep, absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. Okay, one more to go. This one can be mine. It has more veggies in it.
Do you need to mark the foil some special way?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I use the thick foil. I think the heavy duty foil is better on a grill or definitely on a fire because you know that the temperatures get so high. Okay, so we're ready to get those.
There's an L on this one for Lisa.
There you go. We'll know where we put it on the grill.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what our temp is. We're up to about 300 and something. That's perfect. Now, these go on there for 10 minutes. That's it. So we're going to put them in there
You flip them around and...
You just put them on.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mine's in the back right.
Okay.
We're going to put them on there. We're going to let them cook for 10 minutes. Actually, right before 10 minutes, we're going to put the buns on there. And basically what you do is you take your bun, you put it on your grill, open face, put your cheese on there.
Okay.
So it melts a little bit, give it about a minute, and then they all come out at the same
Nice.
time.
Nice.
So.
Very good.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. Is that provolone cheese? Lisa,
Provolone
that's
cheese,
Provolone,
yes.
okay.
Yes, so we've kind of got these started. You know what, actually I'm going to leave those there. I'm going to pull these off first.
Look how that all kind of puffed up.
It does,
It
I
looks
know.
like, what are those little popcorn packets?
Jiffy Pop.
Jiffy Pop.
Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, Jiffy Pop.
Love those as a kid. Okay. And we'll put the sandwiches on here. Woo! There we go.
Gotta love that stretchy cheese when it's...
Oh, I know.
All right, I'll turn that off so we don't burn ourselves.
Okay, so we're gonna open a couple of these up. Uh-oh, I forgot which one was mine.
Uh-oh. It's the one with the L. See, I made an L.
Oh, you did. I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? These are hot, so you gotta be careful, as always.
Not sure why. This is my favorite part of the show, isn't it?
Oh, I have to agree with you. Look at that.
Wow.
Okay. So basically, you're
10 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. You're just gonna spoon that out onto your sandwich there, Duane. Get all the goods. Grabbing mine.
Grab the L.
Actually, it doesn't really matter. Whichever one you want. Once you see them. I'm not picky, really.
Okay, okay.
I do like my vegetables, but I'm not picky. Woo!
How
Ooh,
about
that steamed up my
coming out of there?
glasses.
Fogged you up.
Give you a little more there. Gotta eat your vegetables.
Okay.
And you can eat them right in the packet.
Okay.
You know, if you don't want to dirty plate, you want to carry that over, we'll sit on
So
your bench.
would we sit on the brand new swing? We could be the first 2 humans ever to sit on this swing.
Absolutely. Okay, here we go.
You think it's safe?
I sure hope so. I don't want to fall. Oh, nice. Very comfy.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
They're hot.
what's the name of this again?
spicy or beef steak sandwich foil packets.
Beef steak sandwich foil packet.
Well, or you could just say steak or foil packet sandwiches.
Or
because
Lisa Philly cheesesteak.
we could do that.
I like that. I like
There you
that.
go. There
Okay.
you go. All right, Duane. Ooh, they're hot, so be careful. I'm just gonna.
Now, how about if I set that plate
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
over there?
We've got napkins. Wow, this is pretty big.
There we go.
All right, here we go.
That is awesome.
That's good.
So I got to drop the pepper on your foot.
That's okay. Your dog will get it.
Crash will take care of it.
Stretchy cheese and all. Oh, wow, that's really good.
That is phenomenal.
And I like those banana peppers.
And the best part's having it on a brand new recycled wood swing.
Absolutely. I like this.
Well, Lisa, thank you for the great recipe.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks to Kayla
was
for
fun.
joining us, helping to make the swing.
Sure.
And she had to go, but we appreciate her help.
She missed the good stuff.
Thanks to the folks at home for joining us on Crawford County Outdoors. I got to get back to my sandwich here.
Me too.
See you next time.